In Tallahassee, Florida, on March 16, 2022, a Florida Highway Patrol trooper found themselves in a high-speed pursuit of a stolen vehicle. As soon as the trooper activated lights and sirens, the suspect floored it, turning a simple stop into a full-blown chase. The suspect veered into a parking lot, circling around in a wild attempt to shake the trooper. But as the trooper closed in, something happened that the suspect definitely didn't see coming. Stay tuned to see how this unfolds. This has to be one of the most flawlessly executed pit maneuvers you'll see. The suspect was brought to a stop and taken into custody without further incident. What's your take on this chase and the trooper's precise maneuver? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. On November 20th, 2020, at approximately 9:58 a.m., while patrolling on Virginia Avenue and Harrison Drive, a trooper observed a vehicle failing to obey a traffic-controlled device and not using turn signals. The trooper activated lights and siren to initiate a traffic stop. However, the driver briefly came to a stop, then suddenly accelerated, fleeing the scene.
WPZ 355. No, 1080. On Harrison Road, coming up on Rugby Avenue. Coming up on Walker Avenue.
The suspect turned right onto Eubanks Avenue, heading east, then made another right onto Bachelor Street, traveling south, followed by a right turn onto Cambridge Avenue, heading west.
Left-hand turn on Harrison. Left-hand turn, Virginia Avenue. Taking 85 south.
The suspect entered the highway but quickly took the first exit. The trooper then executed a pit maneuver. However, the suspect managed to recover and continued fleeing.
Medium walk. 85. back to Virginia Ave.
From the start, the suspect drove recklessly, showing no regard for the safety of other drivers on the road.
Contact control vehicle taking Cleveland Avenue exit. He is keeping straight across the intersection. He's 1050 with another vehicle. And he's still rolling left on Cleveland Ave. Driver's side rear tire is failing him. He's out of control, almost at a pedestrian, Springdale Road. Getting out of the vehicle, Springdale Road.
The trooper thought the chase had ended after multiple TVI attempts and a collision with a truck. However, only the passenger exited the vehicle while the driver continued to flee once again.
Rear driver's side tire is out, sparks flying, he's out of control.
The suspect eventually lost control of his vehicle and came to a stop, leading to his arrest and being taken into custody. Share your thoughts in the comments. What punishment do you think people like this deserve? 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia, when a white Jeep Grand Cherokee blasts onto I-85 at over 100 miles per hour, weaving recklessly and showing no signs of slowing down. What starts as a dangerous high-speed pursuit is about to turn deadly. The suspect weaved recklessly, showing no regard for safety. With every swerve, the risk to innocent drivers grew. As the chase spiraled further out of control, more units raced to join in, closing in from every direction. Their mission was clear: stop this maniac before someone got seriously hurt. At the intersection, a passenger bails out on Edgewood Avenue, only to be immediately caught by troopers. But the driver wasn't ready to surrender. Back onto interstate, speeds soar past 100 miles per hour. After the pit, the SUV spins out, leaves the road, and crashes violently. When troopers rush in, they find the Jeep overturned and on fire. Two suspects, Broderick Dunn and Amarian Clotter, are pulled from the wreckage unresponsive. CPR and tourniquets are applied, but it's too late. Both men are pronounced dead. Nearby, a bloody AR-15 rifle lies in the grass, recovered as evidence. The third suspect, Montavious Lovejoy, was already wounded from a prior gunshot before the chase even began. He was taken to Grady Hospital and survived. It was June 20th, 2023, and the 10th Judicial Drug Task Force was already in a pursuit with a silver Chevrolet Impala on U.S. Highway 63 when they call in Arkansas State Police for backup. Trooper Grant takes primary at 4:09 p.m., and immediately this is no ordinary chase. The Impala is flying northbound recklessly at high speed with multiple occupants inside, and everyone in that car knows exactly why they can't get caught.
I get something out of the window. I just throw a bag out of the window. Throw a bag out of the window. Drop $40 for it. About right down here in the bird.
As the chase progresses, the Impala is pushing to extremely dangerous speeds, and suspect comes within inches of a head-on collision with another vehicle that had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. The danger is at a level where waiting is no longer an option, and Trooper Grant knows it. He's ready to execute the pit. It's just a matter of finding that one perfect moment, and when it comes, he is not missing it.
Orange is for you units. TBI.
Not directly in the area, they have been notified. It looks like that they went 2-3.
TBI, one rolled out. They're running.
All four doors fly open and everyone runs. Trooper Grant catches Quintine Lowe in the woods, first hands him off to a DTF agent, and immediately turns around and goes after the other two. Dash and Cobb is found laying down by a fence trying to disappear into the ground. The third suspect, Donnie Lowe, is inside the barn somewhere. All four suspects accounted for, all evidence turned over to Drug Task Force Commander James Slaughter. 4 suspects, a bag of stolen weapons thrown from a moving car, and a manhunt ending in a red barn. And on this day, 4 people found out exactly why that stat exists. It was November 4th, 2025, when Key Largo, Florida, and a Florida Highway Patrol trooper were sitting at a red light on the overseas highway when a Monroe County Sheriff's deputy pulls up right alongside and says 3 words nobody at a red light wants to hear. "I'm in a pursuit." Before the light even changes, they're both flying southbound side by side when the chase comes screaming up from behind and blows right past them both. The trooper locks in and the hunt is on.
And we're still clean stopping.
It's a black Range Rover JVX 40, JVX 40. We're slowing down right now. Past other vehicles, being fluctuating 70, 90.
Another trooper joins in as the Rover is clocked at 122 miles per hour on the overseas highway. Nowhere near enough road to be doing that. Every car out there was in serious danger, and at those speeds, the troopers had to stay patient, waiting for the right moment to make their move.
I believe this vehicle is on a traffic stop. I passed it, I believe. Hold on, let's try another pit here. Stand by.
South end of the construction bridge, construction site, coming up to Saturday now, I think Saturday now.
Stop sticks, pit maneuvers, a construction zone, packed traffic, and multiple units all on him, and none of it was enough to slow this guy down. This chase got out of control a long time ago, but right now it's reaching a whole new level. The only thing on every trooper's mind at this point is keeping an innocent person out of this mess, but with a suspect driving like this, that's easier said than done.
The other troopers is going to be coming back out. We just made a U-turn. We're heading back out. Forward, stay 35.
He turns into Founders Park, weaving around maintenance equipment all the way to the back until he hits locked gates with absolutely nowhere left to go. He turns around, makes a run for the exit, and plows straight through the guardhouse and just keeps going. Back on State Road 5 with the right front tire completely shredded, running on nothing but a bare rim, sparking down the highway like none of that just happened. The trooper yanks the door open, pulls the driver out at gunpoint, and the guy immediately starts resisting, keeping one hand pinned under his stomach, refusing to show it. After a tense struggle, they get him cuffed. The Adderall story checked out, and a urine sample was taken for further testing. The defendant later repeated that same statement post-Miranda without hesitation. A man so hopped up on stimulants, he led multiple troopers on a 122-mile-per-hour chase down one of Florida's most dangerous highways, drove through a public park, crashed through a guardhouse, and ran on a bare rim until 3 troopers physically pushed him off the road. Just 80 milligrams of Adderall and a very bad Tuesday. On March 22, 2025, in Bryan County, Georgia, a deputy observed a white BMW speeding down Highway 144 at 72 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. The deputy confirmed the speed with his radar and attempted a traffic stop, but the driver had no intention of pulling over, and what started as a simple speeding violation would soon escalate into a high-speed pursuit. The driver was operating at an extremely high rate of speed on the curvy road. Due to the many curves, the deputy lost sight of him, but continued driving fast, trying to catch up to the suspect. But what he was about to witness just a few moments later left everyone on the road shocked.
Ride 1050, 2 vehicles, get to a speeding route. I need fire. Entrapment.
Look it up on our GPS.
Taking care of show at Park Hill 20.
Before you get to the corner, we are turning traffic around.
36 Central, I'm 23 with 23 on 7.
The driver was identified as Jimmy, just 19 years old at the time. According to reports, Jimmy was traveling at more than 120 miles per hour as he tried to negotiate an S-curve. He lost traction and collided with a Chevrolet Equinox, driven by Miss Stevens. Deputies and Good Samaritans were able to pull Miss Stevens from the wreck. She was transported to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The BMW burst into flames after striking several trees. Jimmy suffered injuries the coroner later described as not compatible with life. It was March 29, 2024, when a Florida Highway Patrol trooper spotted a silver BMW flying up I-95's express lanes in Miami-Dade. The driver wasn't just speeding, he was using the left shoulder as his personal racetrack, putting everyone around him in danger. The trooper tried loudspeaker commands, but the BMW had no intentions of stopping.
Pull over right now. Pull over right now. BMW, pull over right now.
Hi,
Alpha X-ray 96 on all
Tag is going to be November Golf X-ray Alpha. Speed slow down, traffic heavy, medium sensitive.
With the packed interstate ahead, the suspect was going all over the road, squeezing through gaps that didn't exist, and somehow making it work. But compared to what he would do throughout this chase, this was nothing. Watch closely because this is another level of chase. The chaos in Florida continued as the BMW ripped down the shoulder, threading past cars like they were cones. Then, in a bold move, the suspect overtook another trooper on the highway. That trooper immediately took over as primary, locking onto the BMW with one goal in mind: to do what the first trooper couldn't, bring this reckless pursuit to an end.
94 miles an hour express. Yeah, 4 pass on the overpass for Hollywood now. Overpass to Hollywood. We got a pit, we got a pit, we got a pit. Stop for vehicle finish. Anytime you want to overpass by Hollywood. We got a pit, we got a pit, we got a pit. Stop for vehicle finish.
The trooper made the call, lining up and executing a pit that finally ended the chaos, but it came at a cost. 2 innocent vehicles were struck in the process, raising the question, was it worth it, or should the trooper have waited for a better moment? Write your opinions down in the comments. The suspect, identified as Jacqueline Maxon, was taken into custody and now faces charges of reckless fleeing, eluding police, and resisting an officer without violence. She was transported to the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Center on an $8,150 bond. Fortunately, the innocent drivers caught in the collision were not injured. Georgia State Trooper was on routine patrol when spots not 1 but 2 challengers running together and pulling away from traffic at high speed. He lights them up and both drivers make the exact same decision at the exact same moment. They run. 1 trooper, 2 cars, and backup nowhere close enough to matter right now, and somehow he has to keep both of them in his sight, long enough for help to arrive.
Stand by, Atlanta. 1080 times 2, 1080 times 2, gray Charger and a white one, or excuse me, Challenger. Gray Challenger and a white Challenger, no 28 on either one of them.
Where you at?
John Wesley Dobbs passing Ellis. Going to the interstate, going connector south. Coming up at 20. You can see car.
To the right.
Yeah, they're trying to take I-20 together. Still coming up to I-20.
Coming up, I-20.
Staying south on the connector, staying south on the connector. Coming up to Fulton Street.
Just think about how difficult it is to chase one challenger on a highway. And now picture one trooper all by himself, chasing two of them at the same time. No backup, no support, just one trooper holding it together alone while units scramble from every direction to get there.
So we're putting it together, coming up on 160.
Might be passing 166 right now. Give me just a second. Yeah, passing 166, passing 166.
Coming up on 85.
All right, passing up 85, staying 75 south, Cleveland, 75 south, passing Cleveland. All right, one is exiting on Cleveland, one staying on the interstate. I'm taking the one on the interstate.
The white Challenger peels off at an exit and the trooper makes a split-second decision. He stays locked on the black Charger and lets the other units run down the white one.
Riverdale, notify Clayton County, Atlanta, notify Clayton County, we're exiting on to Riverdale, exiting on to Riverdale.
Acting on Riverdale.
Southbound Riverdale, almost 1050, 1050, 1050. Still going, still going. We're passing up Clayton County units now, passing Clayton County units now, stand by.
Passing Clayton County unit.
Hit. I'm trying to get him off the road, get him disabled, stand by. All right, stand by. Multiple pits and contacts.
The pit connects and the Charger was stopped, and before the suspect even has a second to think about his next move, there are guns pointed at him from every direction. He takes one look at the situation and the decision makes itself, hands up and it is over. Arrested within seconds and taken into custody without any further incident, bringing this chase to a close and leaving the suspect to face every consequence that comes with the choices he made tonight. On September 6, 2024, Trooper Teddy Henderson conducted a traffic stop in Blytheville after observing the driver, Remius Thompson, not wearing a seatbelt. Upon approaching the vehicle, Trooper Henderson introduced himself and explained the reason for the stop. Thompson was unable to provide identification and instead gave a false name. While Trooper Henderson returned to his patrol unit to run a background check, Thompson took advantage of the situation, putting his car in drive and attempting to flee the scene.
Jonesboro 1037.
34.
Going through a bank parking lot right here at North 2nd.
North 2nd.
First, Sycamore. Cherry Street.
Cherry Street.
Trooper Henderson quickly caught up to the fleeing suspect and used his patrol vehicle to ram into Thompson's car, causing it to collide with a pole and come to a stop. As Trooper Henderson exited his vehicle, it appeared that he had the situation under control. However, the suspect had other plans and made a sudden, reckless decision to resist arrest.
Get down!
However, this reckless decision proved to be a poor choice for the suspect. As Thompson fled on foot, Trooper Henderson quickly deployed his taser, successfully incapacitating him. The suspect was arrested and taken into custody without further incident, effectively bringing the chase to a swift conclusion.
On December 21st, 2021, at 12:13 p.m., while patrolling Jimmy DeLoach Parkway, Trooper overheard officer from Pooler PD request assistance from the Georgia State Patrol during a pursuit of a stolen vehicle. The chase moved onto I-95 southbound from Pooler Parkway, followed at a safe distance to assist when needed. The suspect initially created distance from the troopers with his high speed, but they quickly closed the gap and caught up to him. As the suspect attempted to overtake busy traffic on the right, he lost control of his vehicle, but managed to regain composure and continued his flight. It's important to emphasize that we do not condone this behavior. Everyone should learn from the mistakes made in this episode.
Get off the 99. Everybody know we're getting off at the Wait. We're driving off. Alright, left. Got it.
As the suspect attempted to make a U-turn, he was struck by another trooper, followed by a second impact from a pursuing trooper. This was sufficient to bring him to a stop, leading to his arrest.
On October 6th, the possible homicide suspect from Michigan was apprehended by the Ohio State Highway Patrol after a pursuit on I-75 southbound. Just before noon, OSHP received notification that Michigan State Police were chasing the suspect, identified as 33-year-old Ronald McLaurin from Warren, Michigan, as he approached the state line. Troopers successfully took over the pursuit near Wales Road in Northwood, ensuring a swift resolution to the dangerous situation.
Lane 115, traffic moderate. 120 left lane. Passing 195 now. We're catching the traffic ease. Passed on the shoulder, 112 on the shoulder.
We're just off of the what's the wheels of 192.
Okay. 117 left lane. Moderate traffic was the left lane, 115.
The trooper continued the pursuit of the suspect while another officer strategically positioned spike strips ahead, preparing to deploy them as the suspect approached. With tension mounting, the scene was set for a critical moment in the chase.
Well, we're getting into some moderate traffic. He's still left lane, 115 miles an hour. Passing on the shoulder, 24.
Trying to get north of the 164. That's too far out. And I'm going to try and get up north Baltimore. Okay.
Up to 183 south, 115 miles an hour left lane.
Clear flight. Be ready to come in once we come to the tower.
I still have MSP behind me. Passing on the shoulder, 150 miles an hour, 183. Passing the second car on the shoulder, 115 miles an hour.
The suspect was driving recklessly, weaving between vehicles on the shoulder and maintaining a high rate of speed. After 10 minutes of relentless pursuit, he approached the position of the trooper who was poised to deploy the spike strips, ready for a decisive intervention in the escalating chase.
171.
690's out of it, it's got spiked.
The suspect avoided the spike strips, but the trooper trailing him struck the strips and was forced to abandon the chase. However, multiple patrol cars remained engaged in the pursuit, ensuring that the operation continued in an effort to apprehend the suspect.
39.
167.
Southbound from 167, right to 164.
Uh, 18 going eastbound, stretching westbound.
Westbound on 18.
The suspect abruptly turned into a gas station, exited his vehicle, and fled on foot, creating a chaotic scene as officers quickly mobilized to apprehend him.
Call it inside that building.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get your dick on the ground! Get him, get him, get him, get him! Get on the ground! Get your hands on the ground! Right now, get on the ground! Get your hands up! Get down! Get down! No weapons! Stop! No weapons! Alright, so no weapons! No weapons! Lay down! Lay down! Lay down! Give me your hand! No weapons! Give him hands! No weapons! Give me your hands! Okay. Cover! Cover!
The suspect was successfully arrested and taken into custody without further incident. On 2024, Trooper Escamilla was in pursuit of a black Jeep that hit speeds of 135 miles per hour. She lost sight of the suspect after he took an exit and made the call to cancel the pursuit. But not long after, she returned to the last known location, and that's where she found him.
It's going to be Highway 70, getting ready to get on the I-40, and it is Black Mobile.
After taking an exit at high speed and passing cars on the shoulder, the suspect lost control and crashed into a ditch. Trooper Escamilla approached, but suspecting he might be armed, waited for backup. Once additional units arrived, K-9 Labo was deployed and successfully tracked the suspect, Kevin Collier, hiding in a field. He was bitten during the arrest and later treated by medics. A search revealed Collier's real ID, and a check showed he had 3 extraditable warrants for aggravated assault, possession of a deadly weapon, and drug charges. He admitted he fled because of the warrants. On March 25, 2025, Trooper Dylan Evans received information about a stolen Tennessee license plate spotted on a white Ford Edge with tinted windows at the north entrance to Southland Gaming and Racing. A check through NCIC confirmed the plate was stolen out of Shelby County. Trooper Evans saw the Ford Edge turning onto Ingram Boulevard and initiated a traffic stop as the vehicle pulled into a gas station. While waiting for backup, the Ford Edge suddenly fled the scene, heading south on Ingram Boulevard, kicking off a pursuit.
23 Service Road, heading westbound. Wrong way, on Service Road.
Wrong way on the service road. He's getting on the interstate going the wrong way, Fort City.
The SUV disregarded another wrong-way traffic sign and entered the westbound Ingram exit ramp of Interstate 40. The driver accelerated quickly, crossed all lanes of traffic, and began driving head-on into oncoming vehicles, using the narrow inside shoulder and inside lane to continue fleeing in the wrong direction.
We're at the 281 westbound. We're coming up to MLK now.
Shoot.
Okay.
Now that the suspect stopped driving the wrong way, the situation became less dangerous for other motorists. That's when the trooper saw the opportunity and decided to go for a pit maneuver to bring the chase to an end.
TBI, Mountain City. TBI, man.
The driver, later identified as Miguel Harris, and the front passenger, Paris Orange, jumped out of the vehicle and ran east through an open field. Trooper Wright and Trooper Evans chased them toward a set of railroad tracks, giving loud commands to stop. Shortly after, Sergeant Winkfield took Harris into custody just east of that location. Both were brought back to the scene. A check of the Ford confirmed it was stolen out of Memphis, Tennessee, and the license plate also came back stolen and didn't match the vehicle. Harris and Orange were booked into the Crittenden County Detention Center. Harris faced several charges, including reckless driving, fleeing, and multiple theft-related offenses. Orange was charged with fleeing on foot, theft by receiving, and criminal conspiracy. In Flint, Michigan, Michigan State Police found themselves in pursuit of a homicide suspect. After spotting the vehicle, the trooper activated emergency lights and sirens. While the suspect wasn't speeding at first, he definitely failed to stop, sparking a dangerous chase.
76 minutes. Speed to 20.
The suspect entered the highway but quickly took the first exit. This gave the trooper a chance to get a little bit closer to the suspect's vehicle.
Second pit attempt. Second pit attempt, unsuccessful, going westbound on the hill.
Second pit unsuccessful, westbound on hill.
Going over 75.
Going over 75.
Medium traffic. Traffic's going to be delayed.
Medium traffic westbound hill.
Important to note, we do not support this kind of behavior. The goal here is to learn from the mistakes made in this situation and to understand the dangerous consequences of reckless actions.
Placing on traffic dispatch, getting to the westbound.
Just turn southbound at the roundabout on the hill.
Southbound at the roundabout on Elms.
Speed's at 90. Speed's at 90. Just through it. Always
Through that route.
crashed out. Crashed out to South Reed. Just remember, we had the gun.
Crashed out south of Reed.
The suspect eventually lost control of his vehicle and crashed. The troopers quickly exited their vehicles and apprehended the suspect, bringing the pursuit to an end.
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Hands on my back.
Come up, watch your leg.
Hands on my back.
You're good.
All right.
In custody.
35, 47,
You what?
I get a look at my kids.
Okay.
On Thursday, June 30th, 2022, at approximately 10:59 p.m., Trooper Jacob Bird was traveling eastbound on Interstate 30 near mile marker 131 when he observed a 2019 white Dodge Challenger displaying a fictitious Texas license plate. Trooper Bird initiated a traffic stop on the eastbound service road, but the Challenger immediately fled.
Surveyor of the 319, 30 eastbound from the 131, 237.
Continuing across the tracks headed toward University. South Service Road.
The suspect re-entered the highway, accelerating dangerously and putting many lives at risk. Recognizing the immediate danger, the trooper knew they had to stop him as quickly as possible.
Coming up on 440.
The trooper struggled to stop the suspect due to his high-speed driving and skillful maneuvers. Determined to end the pursuit, the trooper aimed to get closer to execute a pit maneuver.
Copy, good. Partner Lake Road.
He just crashed out front of Cat.
Finally, as the trooper closed in on the suspect's vehicle, the suspect lost control and crashed into a ditch. Troopers then exited their vehicles, arrested the suspect, and took him into custody without further incident. On May 21, 2018, police pursued a man suspected of shoplifting from a store in West Memphis, Arkansas. Three patrol cars joined the pursuit, attempting to box in the suspect. However, a miscalculation allowed him to escape, and the reckless chase continued. A trooper executed a pit maneuver, causing the suspect's vehicle to spin. The suspect then drove into oncoming traffic, ultimately colliding with a truck. Troopers quickly arrived on scene, arresting the suspect and taking him into custody without further incident. On May 14, 2022, a silver Chevy was spotted making unsafe lane changes and swerving all over the road. The trooper activated lights and sirens, and the driver signaled to turn and began slowing down, but never fully came to a stop. The driver took the first exit and continued driving suspiciously, showing no signs of stopping or cooperating.
Just took the left exit, swerving like crazy.
As the driver swerved all over the road, he hit the curb and began losing control of his vehicle. The trooper pressed in, determined to bring the chase to an end.
Just almost lost it. Losing the time. It might be wrecked out here just before Canis.
On the ground. Anybody else in the car? Get on the ground.
I'm sorry, sir. I was trying to...
Did I say anything? But get on the ground.
The trooper executed a pit maneuver, which wasn't perfect, but still managed to stop the suspect. The trooper arrested the suspect and took him into custody without further incident. During a search of the vehicle, the trooper found a firearm and illegal substances. February 10, 2024, Clayton County units located a stolen vehicle in Riverdale. When deputies attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the suspect immediately fled, sparking a high-speed chase.
Okay, where are you at?
National 21, right now we're on East Fayetteville Road, heading towards Riverdale Road. East Fayetteville Road, heading towards Riverdale Road.
Okay, East Fayetteville towards Riverdale Road. All your full time.
Light traffic.
There's me.
Southbound going towards Riverdale Road. Southbound on Riverdale Road.
Okay, southbound on Riverdale Road.
Between 60 right now.
As the pursuit continued, deputies observed the suspect driving recklessly, endangering other motorists. Over the radio, Sheriff Levon Allen of Clayton County issued a direct order to get the vehicle off the road. Despite repeated efforts to stop him, the suspect refused to comply, escalating the intensity of the chase.
On this radio.
Sheriff, go ahead.
I just want to advise you, we're in the pursuit of a 34 vehicle. Right now we're on Church Street, heading towards Highway 85 in the city of Riverdale. Still light traffic.
Sheriff, when you out the house, take the vehicle off the road if you can.
Okay, I think it's primary, I'm behind on secondary. Going outside the roadway, going between cars. Speed's now be 50, 60. Stop sign.
As the suspect attempted to overtake a vehicle on the right, he briefly lost control, forcing him to slow down. This mistake gave the trooper the perfect opportunity to catch up and execute a precise pit maneuver, sending the suspect's vehicle into a ditch. The suspect seemed to consider fleeing on foot, but the trooper had already exited his patrol car and swiftly apprehended him, taking him into custody without further incident. On November 9th, 2024, while conducting routine patrol, Trooper Anthony Goins noticed a black Mercedes-Benz with an Arkansas tag displaying a February 2024 decal. After checking the tag, it returned to a silver 2015 Hyundai Sonata. The trooper confirmed the tag, and as he moved closer, the vehicle sped up to 85+ miles per hour. Once the car darted off at Shackelford Road exit, the trooper activated his lights and siren, initiating a pursuit and notifying Troop A communication. The driver accelerated to a higher speed. taking the exit dangerously. In a quick move, the driver tricked the trooper, attempting to evade capture. As the suspect took the exit, he drove even more recklessly, showing no regard for the safety of other drivers on the road. However, after a few minutes, he would make a critical mistake.
Right on Kenya. Right on Kenya. Correction, no need. Wrecked out. White, black male, white shirt, gray sweatpants, going behind the house. 92, 20.
And the suspect wrecked out after a sharp right turn, exited the vehicle, and fled on foot. He was later arrested at his parole office. Identified as Denzel Kentrell Jackson Jr., he was transported to the Pulaski County Regional Detention Center and booked on multiple charges, including speeding, felony fleeing, criminal mischief, fleeing on foot, fictitious tags, no insurance, leaving the scene of an accident, no seatbelt, and expired tags. On March 25, 2021, Officer Jimmy Harmon of the Lamar Police Department reported a white Ford pickup pulling a trailer stolen in Lamar. The suspect nearly hit Officer Harmon head-on before fleeing, dropping items from the trailer along the way. Arkansas State Police Officer Lonnie Moore located the truck traveling westbound on I-40. After confirming it was the stolen vehicle, Moore attempted a traffic stop. However, the driver refused to pull over, initiating a pursuit.
29 Clarksville, I've contacted it. We're westbound. We meet 1024 with it.
10-4 direct. 29, are you covering?
10-4. He's not pulling over. We're still westbound, going under the 57 underpass. Still westbound. Speed 64. He's riding on the shoulder a little bit. We're in pursuit.
Executing a pit maneuver was deemed too risky due to the trailer attached to the vehicle, which could have caused significant danger to innocent drivers. Instead, troopers opted to box in the suspect, aiming to safely force her to pull over without causing damage.
If anybody got stop sticks, they can get up ahead of him a ways.
Fast lane. Going past 53.
Yeah, 53. Still about 60 or 75 traffic. Speed 73. We're almost at the Coville exit. Some traffic's none around us. About to get into some.
The suspect, realizing there was no chance of escaping, decided to pull over on the side of the road. Little did the troopers know this would turn out to be one of the most unusual and unforgettable arrests of their careers.
Just before that, Franklin. All right, we're pulling over on the shoulder just before Franklin County.
29, the felony takedown if you can.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
The suspect jumped out of the vehicle completely naked and attempted to flee the scene, but troopers quickly tackled and detained her. She was taken into custody without further issues and later identified as a resident of Lamar. The suspect was transported to the Johnson County Detention Center. Charges were filed by Lamar police for the theft of the vehicle and trailer, while Officer Moore with the Arkansas State Police added charges of felony fleeing, reckless driving, and refusal to submit to arrest. Upon searching the stolen truck, police discovered a loaded revolver in the driver's seat. The owner of the vehicle was contacted to recover their property, closing out one of the most unusual pursuits and arrests in recent memory. On March 22, 2023, troopers were dispatched regarding a stolen pickup truck. After 15 minutes of searching, they located a vehicle matching the description. When troopers activated their emergency lights and sirens, the suspect fled, confirming they had found the right individual. A pursuit quickly ensued. Encountering heavy traffic, the suspect attempted to change lanes but veered off the road. Troopers initially believed the pursuit was coming to an end, but the suspect managed to regain control and continued fleeing, evading capture for the moment.
Pursuit. We're not disregarding the pursuit after they struck a state unit. Get location, get 9-4. Bridgeport fireworks stand on the north side, running towards the track. Right now, West Memphis is hanging her. We got 2 more that ran north and they're headed over the track.
The suspect continued to flee on Bridgeport under I-55 before running off the roadway and across a field. Several West Memphis police officers, along with a trooper, pursued the vehicle through the field. The driver and front seat passenger exited the truck and attempted to flee on foot across the field. Officer Langston of the West Memphis Police Department apprehended the driver, identified as Christopher McPhee, and the front seat passenger, Rebecca McDonald. The back seat passenger, Brandy Jacko, was also apprehended by members of the West Memphis Police Department, bringing the pursuit to an end. The driver, Christopher McPhee, was charged with fleeing law enforcement, possession of stolen property, felony warrants with full extradition, possession of firearms by a convicted felon, possession of a stolen firearm, possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, possession of drug paraphernalia. In South Florida, on Tuesday night, a suspect driving a stolen flatbed tow truck carrying a forklift led authorities on a chaotic chase. According to Doral Police, the truck was stolen near Northwest 83rd Avenue and 27th Street. When officers attempted a traffic stop, the suspect escalated the situation by rear-ending a patrol car before fleeing onto the Palmetto Expressway heading southbound. What followed was a pursuit that would test the officers' resolve against a suspect determined to evade capture. The suspect maneuvered recklessly, weaving in and out of lanes on the Palmetto Expressway and coming alarmingly close to colliding with other vehicles multiple times. His actions demonstrated a complete disregard for the safety of other drivers on the road, intensifying the danger of the already chaotic pursuit.
attention. Going northbound. We're right by the FXT building. Right by the FXT building. Eastbound 12th Street from 114. Avenida Ontario one time.
In a shocking display of recklessness, the suspect drove over a median, knocked down a palm tree, and continued into oncoming traffic. The chase reached its conclusion under the overpass, where the flatbed finally came to a stop. The suspect, visibly upset, was taken into custody without further incident, according to Deputy Sanchez. The pursuit began as following a shots-fired call in Flint City, Genesee County. Officers responded to the area and made contact with multiple residents, investigating the shooting incident. During their patrol, officers identified a white Dodge Charger with a cracked windshield and no license plate, which was believed to be involved in the shooting. Around Ballinger Highway and Flushing Road, the officers located the suspect vehicle stopped at a traffic light. They initiated a traffic stop, but the driver, later identified as Tyree Nazrael Parker, fled, initiating a pursuit.
Dodge Charger, no plate, cracked windshield, matched the description of the shooting vehicle. Joiner. University. Looks like a single black male occupant approaching Chevrolet right now. Westbound 8.
Westbound 8.
During the pursuit, Tyree Nazrael Parker drove at a dangerously high rate of speed, showing complete disregard for his surroundings. His reckless driving made it incredibly difficult for officers to keep up with him. Despite the troopers' efforts, Parker's excessive speed and erratic maneuvers put both law enforcement and innocent drivers at significant risk. The chase was intense, and the troopers had to be highly cautious, especially when trying to safely close the distance without escalating the dangerous situation.
Westbound Santa Barbara. Here's headlights, no taillights. Still westbound Santa Barbara. Westbound Wisner. Coming up to Canterbury Lane. Eastbound.
As the chase intensified, Trooper Whipple executed a pit maneuver, rotating the suspect's vehicle. However, the suspect quickly regained control and accelerated, continuing to flee at high speed. Another trooper briefly took over as the primary unit in the pursuit, but Trooper Whipple quickly regained primary control of the pursuit.
Maneuver attempt. Looks like you might be trying to get on southbound 75. Or am I at speed-wise? 55, 40, 40, 38.
Looks like we got...
He's running, holding his waistband.
Yep, black male, white hoodie, running across the freeway.
Black male, white.
Going back up to the overpass.
After the second successful pit maneuver, the suspect's vehicle finally came to a stop. Without hesitation, Tyree Parker exited the vehicle and began fleeing on foot. However, his escape was short-lived. Officers quickly apprehended him, and he was taken into custody without further incident. Parker was later transported to the Genesee County Jail, where he faced a range of serious charges, including fleeing and eluding, felon in possession of a firearm, discharging a firearm from a moving vehicle, and several other offenses. His reckless actions ultimately led to his arrest, and the pursuit came to a close. On March 7, 2021, on the Florida Turnpike, a heated argument between Joshua McCray and driver Jennifer O'Delly escalated when McCray grabbed the steering wheel, causing the vehicle to swerve and strike O'Delly on the head and neck. After stopping the car, O'Delly attempted to flee with her backpack containing the vehicle keys and cell phone, but McCray pursued her, striking her again and demanding the backpack. When she refused, McCray pulled out a knife, attempted to cut the backpack from her shoulder, and injured her left ring finger. After a struggle, McCray succeeded in taking the backpack, which contained the key fob for the vehicle, and fled in the car. Moments later, Florida Highway Patrol troopers spotted the suspect southbound on the turnpike, initiating a pursuit.
Try to get him pulled over and see if you can slow it down before they get past this traffic. Next big ones are coming up on traffic now. Call it or answer.
Change to the outside lane, passing in the shoulder, 150.5.
The suspect eventually lost control of the vehicle, nearly crashing as he swerved dangerously. A nearby truck driver, witnessing the chaotic scene, noticed the danger and attempted to intervene, trying to stop the suspect. Check it out.
In this thing, he seemed like he's going to crash. He lost control. He's back on the roadway.
The suspect, Joshua McCray, was arrested and charged with several serious offenses, including battery, grand theft of a motor vehicle, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, robbery with a weapon, and carjacking with a firearm or weapon. However, surprisingly, he was not charged with fleeing and eluding. Leave your thoughts on that down in the comments. Should he have been charged with fleeing as well? On April 27, 2023, an FHP trooper was positioned on Interstate 95, actively monitoring traffic. The trooper was on the lookout for a black Harley-Davidson motorcycle, which had been reported without a license plate. The motorcycle had previously fled from law enforcement and been involved in reckless driving incidents on multiple occasions over the past month. As the pursuit escalated and more patrol cars joined the chase, the officers coordinated to box the motorcyclist in, recognizing that this was the safest and most effective option to bring the chase to an end. The troopers carefully positioned their vehicles to limit the motorcyclist's escape routes while maintaining a safe distance. But let's see how the troopers executed this high-stakes maneuver and whether they were able to successfully stop the fleeing rider. Though they missed an earlier chance, the troopers stayed focused and patiently waited for the right moment to safely end the chase. The motorcyclist was safely brought to a stop and arrested, ending the chase. He was taken into custody without further incident. On April 5th, 2024, Clayton County Sheriff's Office units stopped a driver for exceeding the posted speed limit. When instructed to exit the vehicle, the driver failed to comply and fled the scene, leading to a pursuit.
What's the 78 traffic condition?
Can you be that in front? I was speaking about 6. What is your traffic charges? Traffic charges, who's one of those guys when you need to pull out? So give us your location, speeds, traffic condition.
How's it going? Call it.
The suspect sped through gas stations and parking lots, trying desperately to lose sight of the trooper. Despite the reckless driving, the trooper stayed hot on his tail, doing everything he could to bring the chase to a swift end.
Bring up the street name.
As the trooper closed in on the suspect's vehicle, the driver attempted to ram the patrol car, but lost control, instead crashing straight into a tree.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Right now. Hands. 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 Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Hands. Let me see it.
The suspect was removed from the vehicle and arrested, taken into custody without further incident, bringing this wild chase to a dramatic end. On September 25, 2022, in Pinellas County, Florida, a state trooper observed a vehicle traveling at an excessive speed in the opposite direction of traffic. The trooper crossed the median to approach the vehicle, activating emergency lights and sirens upon getting closer. However, the female driver failed to stop, initiating a high-speed pursuit. The trooper closed in on the suspect vehicle with the road ahead completely clear, and you know exactly what time it is. The trooper executed a precise TVI, sending the suspect's vehicle into a ditch. Within moments, both the driver and the passenger were swiftly apprehended and secured in the back seat of the patrol car.
And he just asked me, why was I driving like that? And I said I was scared. And who called? And I said, a boy I know. Bro, I'm finna be going to prison, bro. Like, I've been out of jail. Good, bro. I got my house. I did this for you, bro. I swear, Drew, I did this for you. I can't even look at you right now, friend.
Look at me. Carrie, look, right now. Carrie, look at me. Carrie, look at me right now.
In Collier County, Florida, a trooper was monitoring traffic when a vehicle sped past his location, clearly exceeding the posted speed limit. Without hesitation, the trooper activated his lights and sirens, initiating a pursuit as the driver refused to pull over.
Lock the door. Go. Take me out.
The pursuit came to an end when the suspect's vehicle was stopped, and both occupants were taken into custody. The driver, identified as Levi LaShawn Ross Jr., was charged with fleeing or eluding police, driving with a suspended license, and possession of marijuana. On February 6, 2023, an officer in Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, was on traffic enforcement when he spotted a speeding vehicle. Attempting a traffic stop, the driver refused to pull over. And then we all know what that means.
They're taking off in reverse, northbound on Santa Monica. Stop! Stop! We're taking off in reverse, going northbound in the southbound lane. Adam Paul King, 6161, APK 6161. Stop! Stop! Box him in, box him in. They were stopping, now they're fleeing again in reverse. Southbound and northbound lanes are going to be boxed in. Can I get Glendale for mutual aid for stop sticks?
Fleeing in reverse, that's something you don't see every day. But it got even crazier when the vehicle came to a stop, and officers pulled the passenger out thinking they had the situation under control. But the driver? He wasn't done yet. As soon as the coast was clear, he hit the gas again, likely feeling like he was in the middle of an action movie.
Westbound Birch from Santa Monica. Just a driver. We had a female being taken into custody. Westbound Birch coming up to Lydell. Southbound Mohawk.
I'm heading up to your location. Where do you live?
Someone's like not going to think they'll turn Santa Monica.
Santa Monica, where?
Jake Lake.
The officers lost sight of the suspect and had no choice but to cancel the pursuit. But the story doesn't end there. Later that day, the suspect was tracked down and arrested after officers were able to get his identity from his girlfriend. He was taken into custody, facing a long list of charges, a reminder that even when it seems like they've gotten away, justice catches up. The officers did everything they could, but next time it's clear that allowing him to flee again should have been avoided. On Thursday, August 20th, 2020, Bayside Police initiated a traffic stop on Brown Deer Road near Interstate 43. The driver initially pulled over to the side of the road but suddenly accelerated, initiating a high-speed pursuit.
Dispatch, it is a male white driver. He's looking over at me. He seems surprised. It looks like he might be stopping at Good Hope Road here. Stand by. Still southbound, 70 miles an hour. He looked over at me. He acknowledged me. He seemed surprised that I was there. Still not stopping. We're 65 miles per hour. Lane 1, south of Apple Tree.
Irrational behavior, possible to 96 feet.
There's a male white driver with a baseball hat, a goatee, appeared to be in his late 50s, 60s. We're southbound south of Silver Spring right now.
At this point, the suspect was speeding directly toward a trooper who had positioned himself ahead on the roadway with spike strips, ready to deploy them. The spike strips appeared to be successful, deflating the vehicle's tires and significantly hindering the suspect's ability to maintain control. This critical maneuver had a huge impact on the outcome of the pursuit, slowing the vehicle and giving officers the upper hand in bringing the chase to an end.
738, hit your sticks.
Again, the vehicle is smoking. He hit the sticks. If I can get a backup squad with me.
Dispatch, and you have 3 sixes with me.
2-2, we're going to be stopping just north of Capitol. We're doing a high-risk stop here. Driver, get your hands out the vehicle. Stand up. Stand up. Face the other direction.
The spike strips successfully disabled the suspect's vehicle shortly after deployment. The suspect was forced to come to a stop and was promptly arrested and taken into custody without further incident, bringing the chase to an end. On May 30th, 2021, Corporal Youngblood was patrolling when he noticed a vehicle approaching rapidly from the rear, estimated to be traveling over 100 miles per hour. The driver noticed the patrol car and attempted to slow down, but still passed by at high speed. Corporal Youngblood maneuvered safely back into the travel lanes and activated his emergency lights, attempting to stop the vehicle. However, the driver immediately fled, driving recklessly at speeds exceeding 140 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic.
It might be a vehicle. It's a blue, I can't tell if it's a Honda or a small BMW. 85 horsepower. Passenger.
As the suspect accelerated to high speeds, Corporal Youngblood lost sight of the vehicle. For the next 10 minutes, he searched the area trying to locate the suspect. Just as he was about to call off the pursuit, the suspect drove past him, his car visibly damaged, likely from a collision caused by his reckless driving. The damage on the vehicle was clear, but the suspect wasn't ready to give up yet. Corporal Youngblood quickly re-engaged, determined to end this dangerous pursuit before anyone else got hurt. When suspect attempted a right turn, he crashed. He fled on foot, with troopers and officers chasing him through the neighborhood. Despite a taser deployment by Trooper Mullen, the suspect continued to evade capture for a brief time. A perimeter was set up, but the suspect slipped away from the officers. Eventually, the vehicle was inventoried, revealing important evidence, including a cell phone that rang as it was recovered. When officers called the number on a citation in the vehicle, the phone rang, confirming the suspect's identity. On June 29, 2023, officers from the Charles County Sheriff's Office responded to a disturbing report. A woman had been assaulted by a man in a parking lot, and there were signs of a possible carjacking. As officers arrived at the scene, the suspect sped off from the parking lot and began fleeing.
Southbound 205. Southbound 205, number 1 lane, speed to 75. 759, number 1 lane, traffic is light, speed to 100. 759, passing Idlewood, speed 102, number 2 lane, 0 traffic. I'm direct, southbound 205, southbound 205, someone trying to get 6 at 5205.
As the suspect sped off at high speed, driving recklessly at speeds of up to 180 miles per hour, he lost control after hitting a curb. The suspect's car rotated violently after hitting the curb, striking a grass median before crossing into oncoming traffic on the northbound lanes. In a tragic turn of events, the suspect's vehicle collided with a dump truck, causing a catastrophic crash. Mr. Mitchell was pronounced dead at the scene, while the dump truck driver suffered only minor injuries and was taken to a hospital. The assaulted woman, also with minor injuries, was transported to a local hospital for treatment.
Stand by. I've got one out on foot.
Now we've got a wild chase from the UK. The chase started when two drug dealers, Simon Paget and Dean Stone, were trying to avoid traffic by speeding down the hard shoulder of the M6 motorway near Junction 7. What they didn't realize? They had just undertaken a police officer in a marked patrol car. At first, Paget and Stone acted like they were pulling over, but then they took off, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic on the A34 and running multiple red lights. That's when the real chase began.
Vehicle is now A34 in towards Warsaw. It is a speed of 90 in a posted 30 limit. It is a dual carriageway. Traffic is light. We've just mounted a curb, so I suspect it may have some damage. And vehicle is standby. A34 Warsaw Road. He is contravening a keep left bollard. Can I have that impasse tactical units towards me, please? He is making several overtakes. It's standby. I've got one out on foot.
The passenger suddenly bailed out, clutching a bag full of drugs, while the driver kept his foot down, still trying to escape. At that point, other officers locked onto the fleeing passenger, but this officer had his sights set on the driver, and he wasn't letting him go that easily.
What's the road name? So we're on the Crescent, approaching roundabout, stand by for direction.
Just keep doing assistance and alcohol.
Yeah, with apologies, William. Okay, we're into the Toby Carvery now. Risk is still medium. And we're into the car park. We go back out the other side. William, stand by for road, mate. Okay, William, speed has significantly reduced now. It's stand by, still making overtakes. We are at 30 miles an hour. I'm on the Broadway North, outside 112. Vehicle's pulling over now of its own accord. Stand by. Out the car!
With no other options, he finally gave up and was taken into custody. Inside were 5 1-kilogram slabs of high-purity cocaine, worth around £500,000. In the end, Paget was sentenced to 7 years in prison, while Stone got 6. Another failed getaway, another win for law enforcement.
16 alcohol, 16 alcohol.
On February 1st, 2025, in Atlanta, Georgia, officers from the Atlanta Police Zone 4 Crime Suppression Unit received a tip about a vehicle connected to an armed robbery in Hapeville. The vehicle was quickly located. While the vehicle initially stopped, it soon sped off, triggering a pursuit.
All right, we're southbound. Stand by for a second.
Change southbound middle. Radio attempted pit. We're still southbound. Okay, we're going to be in front of the Georgia International Convention Center. Show them name. 16 alcohol. 16 alcohol. Show them name.
From the convention center on Main.
16 alcohol. 16 alcohol. What? Stand by.
Trooper executed a perfect pit maneuver, bringing the suspect's vehicle to a stop. But just as the car came to a halt, one of the suspects bailed out, sprinting on foot, trying to escape.
Where you got him? Hey, get the f*** out! Get the f*** out!
How old are you? 30? 34?
34.
Yes. Okay.
Out here running from the police at 34 years old. Love it.
Officers were quick on their feet, quickly locating and taking the fleeing suspect into custody. The second suspect, still in the vehicle, didn't get far either and was arrested on the spot. The suspects, 34-year-old Detavius Waller and 34-year-old Juwan McKinnon, were taken into custody by the Hapeville Police Department.
Hang on to the car door. Trying to get out. North Marginal, dead end street.
A 14-year-old boy led Bratenahl police on a chase in a stolen vehicle. The incident happened on Thursday evening when a flock camera in Bratenahl alerted officers to a stolen Kia driving on Lakeshore Boulevard. Officers quickly located the Kia and attempted a traffic stop, but the driver refused to pull over, sparking a police pursuit.
Vehicle crashed. 55 South Marginal, just hit a vehicle, going through traffic cones. On North Marginal, John Victor 9949.
The suspect crashed into another vehicle just to create a gap and keep fleeing. This chase was spiraling out of control, and officers knew they had to stop him as soon as possible, because at this point, he was ready to risk everything.
Fully slowing in speed.
74 radio, can you see if Metro Park is another one?
Still on North Marginal. Still on North Marginal. Black male getting out of the driver's seat. Black hoodie, gray sweatpants. Looking to bail out. Hang on to the car door. Trying to get out. North Marginal, dead end street. Bailing, foot pursuit!
The suspect eventually came to a stop and bailed out on foot along with the other occupants. While the officer managed to arrest the 14-year-old driver, the other suspects got away. With that, this wild chase came to an end, and the young suspect was brought to justice. April 5th, 2020, in Arkansas, Trooper Alan Aiken was monitoring traffic on the southbound 76 ramp to Interstate 49 when he clocked a black passenger car speeding at 125 miles per hour in a 70 miles per hour zone. Aiken pulled onto the highway to catch up, and at first, the driver pulled over, but not for long.
6 Nora Mary 906 out of California. Now we got light traffic coming up on Johnson, speeds 120. Copy 120, service 69. Get the interchange for where they're going. We're coming up on the interchange now. It's in the right lane. We might take 4 right.
The suspect took an exit and continued driving recklessly at high speeds. When the suspect took another exit, the trooper seized the opportunity to close the gap and get closer to the vehicle.
What's your speed, sir? 75. Traffic 35 and light traffic north on grade. Alright, he's going into oncoming traffic now. There's the traffic on grade northbound. Coming up. Got Johnson here. On my way here. Damn, we both got airborne.
Finally, the trooper closed the distance enough to execute a pit maneuver. The suspect had been driving recklessly throughout the chase, making it difficult for the trooper to get close, until now.
I got in my way, it's slowing me down, I'm out of it. Let me see your hands right now! Let me see your hands! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Please! Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! I'm gonna get you! I'll shoot you! I'll shoot you!
After a brief foot chase, the suspect was taken into custody and identified as Michael Nightingale. At first, he refused to say why he ran, but later admitted he was wanted as an absconder. After a medical check for a possible concussion, he was booked on multiple charges, including felony fleeing, reckless driving, DWI drugs, and more, along with his outstanding warrants. Despite a thorough search, no contraband was found in his vehicle. Nightingale, who has a long history of drug-related offenses, on 6th, 2023, Trooper Escamilla was patrolling Interstate 40 near mile marker 170 when she spotted a black Cadillac SUV with Texas plates following too closely behind another vehicle. She initiated a traffic stop near mile marker 171 and made contact with the driver.
How's it going? Hey, my name's Trooper Escamilla. I'm with Arkansas State Police. The reason I made contact with you is you're following too close to that vehicle. The window tint's dark as well. You have driver's license? All right, let me have you hop out and come over here to my car, okay? Do you have any weapons? Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland, but I live in Texas.
You live in Texas? Okay. Oh, that's real. Oh, yeah. What part of Texas?
Houston.
Houston area?
Yeah.
Okay. How much marijuana do you have in the trunk? Or how much marijuana do you have on you, period? You don't have no marijuana on you? Sure. Yes. Is there any shake or anything? When's the last time you smoked in there?
I haven't smoked.
It smells like marijuana.
I haven't smoked in there, man. I swear.
And whose vehicle is it?
It's my brother's vehicle.
It's your brother's?
Yes.
Okay. Where are you headed to right now?
Memphis.
What part?
This is when Trooper Escamilla knew something was off. The driver, identified as Darian, didn't explain why he was heading to Memphis. When asked if he had any marijuana in the vehicle, he said no, claiming he didn't smoke. But Trooper Escamilla could clearly smell marijuana, giving her probable cause to search the vehicle. She placed Darian in the back of her patrol car and began the search.
Alright, she put me in the car. Yeah. Nah, she said the car smelled like weed. And she's calling for backup.
Adam 40, Little Rock 1043. 30 West University, the black Chrysler 300, now 28.
She's opening the trunk now. Yeah, she's trying to unlock it. She's struggling opening the trunk. She just hopped in the back. Yeah, she's just seen all the boxes.
You know what's up. How much you got?
While searching the rear of the vehicle, Trooper Escamilla found several boxes appearing to come from Morton Grove Pharmaceuticals. Darian was immediately handcuffed and placed under arrest. The vehicle was impounded and taken to the Lonoke County Sheriff's Office. A full search revealed 35 boxes, each containing 12 bottles, a total of 420 bottles of promethazine. His phone and the promethazine were seized by the Central Arkansas Drug Task Force. Since the promethazine did not contain codeine, Darian was charged with possession of prohibited drugs and use of another person's property to facilitate a crime. Weigh over 900 pounds. Great for cruising, terrible for dodging spike strips and squeezing through traffic in a police chase. It was October 3, 2023 when Calvin DeMarcos Hinton, who is also wanted felon, decided to run from Arkansas State Troopers in the late night hours. What started as a routine attempt to stop a suspect quickly spiraled out of control.
He's been black male. He's got a jacket, blue jeans, black helmet. Collins, I believe it is.
Hinton pushed his motorcycle to speeds of 110 miles per hour, flying down the highway like he had nothing to lose. Fortunately, traffic was light, reducing the risk to others, but that didn't make it any less dangerous. Now, troopers knew one thing for sure: this wasn't the kind of guy who'd just pull over. They had to find the right moment to shut him down.
Continuing 31. He can't corner 30 though, again. Road though. Okay, go on. Speed 93. Traffic light. Coming up on the south interchange right now. Speed 85. We're gonna be continuing 30 west.
Just as another trooper joined the pursuit, they moved in fast, trying to box Hinton in and bring the chase to a quick end. But the suspect wasn't about to give up that easily. The second he noticed their plan, he kicked it into high gear, making the situation even worse.
We're coming up on 65th Street, speed's 101, traffic still light. We're going to be taking the 135. We're going the wrong way towards the university.
How the suspect managed to escape that box-in attempt is beyond crazy. You probably noticed his motorcycle wobbling at over 100 miles per hour, barely holding steady, but somehow every time he pulled it off, just enough to keep fleeing. But this time it was a different story.
Y'all back off just a little bit. I'm gonna need you right here.
After crashing his motorcycle, the suspect ditched it and tried to flee on foot, but a well-placed taser quickly put an end to his run. He was arrested on the spot and later charged with felony fleeing, fleeing on foot, driving on a DWI, violating ignition interlock device requirements, driving the wrong way, speeding, reckless driving, and failure to stop at a red light. Safe to say, that's not how you want your night to end. First, 2023 in Benton County, Arkansas, when a gray passenger car without a license plate pulled off Interstate 49 and caught the attention of an Arkansas state trooper. The driver, 44-year-old Sean Packizer, jumped out and began yelling profanities in the middle of traffic. When ordered to calm down, he refused, climbed back into his car, and sped off.
49 southbound at 82, he's accelerating, go ahead and show me 37. Traffic's heavy, he's coming back to the left shoulder, coming out of the Texas.
I'm at 70 Alpha.
39 low, he just hit me, boys, he's about, I'm gonna go for DBI.
Where are you now, 39?
Just past the 70, got hit 250.
You just focus on driving, I'll call the pursuit.
The suspect weaved through heavy traffic at 140 miles per hour. By the 78-mile marker, he slammed into two motorists at nearly 100 miles per hour, scattering debris across the interstate. As other units joined the chase, another trooper took over a pursuit as a primary unit.
Side. E3 stepping out the driver's side of the bridge to 19. 115 coming up on 112, westbound on 612. Northbound on hour 112. Six medium. He's running 2 cars off the road. Took the TVI one.
Okay, just hold traffic for a minute. I'm trying.
10-4. Putting that low, we're coming up past Spring Ridge Drive on 112. He's in oncoming traffic. Spring Ridge Drive. Putting that low, coming up on Wagger Road.
The suspect drove head-on into oncoming traffic, forcing innocent drivers to swerve in panic just to avoid a deadly crash. The pursuit then spilled onto the narrow back roads, where speeds stayed dangerously high. Every curve, every blind hill, the suspect pushed harder, giving the pursuing trooper a serious fight just to keep up.
Move over.
Y'all be careful. This turns to gravel. Be careful. He's driving very reckless. Zigzags.
And I'm low, my tires low out, maybe 10-7.
You want to go left in Elm Springs or go right into Cycle?
As the chase progressed on narrow back roads, Pachyzer finally lost control on a bridge, crashing out. He bailed out and tried to flee on foot.
Yes, he's right here. He's at the bridge. He's bailed out at the bridge.
The suspect was quickly tackled and taken into custody by responding troopers and sergeants. Pachyzer racked up a staggering list of charges, including felony, fleeing with substantial danger of death, reckless driving, leaving the scene of a crash, driving on a suspended license, and disorderly conduct. That day, his reckless rampage ended in handcuffs after putting countless lives at risk. It says a simple speeding ticket and ends with a rollover crash, a foot chase, and a loaded Glock. Let me tell you about November 8th, 2023. Trooper James Reed was on routine patrol traveling northbound on US Highway 79 near Thornton when a passenger car came flying by southbound. The trooper locked the vehicle on radar at 74 miles per hour in a posted 65 miles per hour zone. Not exactly breaking land speed records, but enough to warrant a stop. The trooper activated emergency lights, and after taking a little time, the driver finally pulled over. As the trooper was about to exit his vehicle to speak with the driver again, the driver put the car in drive and took off southbound on US Highway 79, hitting speeds around 100 miles per hour. The trooper really quickly got close behind the suspect and attempted a pit right away, putting pressure on the suspect and letting him know that the trooper wasn't here to waste time. The suspect vehicle struck a guardrail and rolled approximately 2 times along the median, and then both the driver and passenger bailed out and fled on foot. A short time later, deputies with the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office apprehended the driver, who was later identified as Khalil Trayvon Galloway of Camden. During an administrative inventory of the suspect vehicle, troopers found a small black scale used to weigh marijuana and a loaded Glock. On May 20th, 2023, just before sunrise, police officers responded to what they thought would be a welfare check. A lone man slumped in a car on a highway ramp. But when they saw the gun resting on his lap, the situation shifted instantly. What began as a simple check was about to turn into something far more dangerous.
See a gun on his lap.
What?
See a butt of a gun on his lap.
County police! Don't move! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Let me see your hands! Hands up, police! You got soft strips? Put your hands up! Let me see them! Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Open the door! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Officers tried to stop the man from leaving, but instead he fled, heading north on Interstate 270. The pursuit was brief, but at highway speeds, it only takes moments for disaster to strike.
Get a helicopter in the air.
Direct requesting helicopter at 520.
Hey, Doctor, run the tag. We're approaching Montgomery Ave.
Approaching Montgomery Ave.
Past the falls. Lane 2.
Well behind us, we're going to take off. Crash.
Oh. Bail out. Crash.
Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Oh, he ejected!
The driver lost control, and his vehicle crashed violently, ejecting him from the car. Other drivers were caught in the chaos, with 2 adults rushed to the hospital. The man behind the wheel, identified as 37-year-old Lawrence White of Washington, D.C., was pronounced dead at the scene. For hours, traffic on I-270 stood still as investigators pieced together the wreckage. A night of alcohol, a loaded gun, and one reckless decision led to a chain reaction that ended in disaster. On December 25th, 2024, just before 8:30 in the evening on Christmas Eve, an Arkansas State Police trooper clocked a 2006 Honda Pilot traveling 98 miles per hour on Interstate 40 westbound near the 66-mile marker and pulled it over for a traffic stop. The driver, a 33-year-old man from Hampton, Virginia, stepped out and gave the trooper a false name and date of birth. What the trooper didn't know yet was that this man was wanted in Virginia for fleeing, giving false identification, and possession of a controlled substance. When the trooper began to verify his information, the suspect made his choice, jumped back into the Honda Pilot, and fled westbound at high speed.
J26, I'm at the 84. Still coming to you.
1037.
Going for the TDI. Speeds 88, light traffic, passing the 64. Speeds increasing 95.
Coming up on moderate traffic, he's all over the road, speeds 104.
Once the suspect accelerated to a higher speed, and with danger rising by the second, the trooper knew he had to react. He shifted gears and got closer to the suspect to show him he wasn't here to play games.
Moderate traffic. TVI, 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 TVI. Then 1016, roll over, roll over.
Trooper made contact with the Honda Pilot and sent it spinning off the roadway. The vehicle traveled into a wooded area north of the interstate, striking multiple trees with violent force before coming to a final rest deep in the brush. Upon reaching the final rest location of the Honda Pilot, a deceased black male was observed leaning out from the front passenger window with severe trauma to the head. Located on the body was a revolver containing 1 spent round and 5 live rounds, a black digital scale, and 2 $1 bills with a white powdery residue suspected to be cocaine. 2023, just after midnight on I-85, a single headlight cut through the darkness, closing fast at more than 110 miles an hour. What the trooper was about to find wasn't just a speeding motorcycle, it was a rider who had no intention of stopping.
Shut it off and drop the keys on the ground. Shut it off, drop the keys on the ground. Take the keys out and drop them on the ground. And then we're going back on the road. Yeah, we're 1080, Noonan, 1080. Come on, baby. Noonan, come up to the 51 marker. Left-hand lane right now. Turn on that bike if you got anything on it. Thank you.
Jose Luis weaved recklessly between lanes, hit triple-digit speeds, and ignored every attempt to force him to the shoulder. At times, he was moving so fast the trooper couldn't even confirm his speed. But when Ampuero slowed, the trooper was right there, accelerating hard and closing the distance as much as possible.
All right, Noonan, coming up to the 49 marker. All right, almost 1050 into the back of a car, coming up to the 48. Going in the shoulder. Noonan, he's in the shoulder. 1050, Noonan, 1050, bad 1050, Noonan.
Copy, 1050, start 1052.
As he approached the Bullsboro exit, his luck ran out. Ampuero shot across the gore, hit dirt, and the bike went down hard. In and out of consciousness, reeking of alcohol, Ampuero couldn't explain why he ran. His ride ended in a twisted heap on the roadside, and his night ended in the back of an ambulance, facing a long list of charges. On July 9th, 2020, Trooper was traveling east on West Solomon Street when a green motorbike with a monster logo ran a stop sign at the intersection. A second motorbike, yellow in color, also ran the stop sign while driving on the wrong side of the road, heading north on North 18th Street. Trooper activated emergency lights and siren to initiate a traffic stop, but both riders looked over their shoulders and took off, initiating a vehicle pursuit.
Street. Yellow dirt bike.
As the motorcyclists split up, the trooper decided to go after the rider on the yellow bike, attempting to bring him to a stop.
Now making a right on turn on 13th Street. Yellow dirt bike, t-shirt, black face.
Put your hands up. Get down on the ground right now. Get down on the ground.
The suspect cut through a backyard, crossing a grassy field. Seeing where he was headed, the trooper maneuvered between two houses and positioned the patrol car near a driveway to maintain visibility from the roadway. Once back on the road, the trooper spotted the motorbike in a ditch and the driver limping away toward the woods. The trooper ran into the field with an issued Glock 45 drawn, ordering the suspect to stop and get on the ground. The suspect was identified as Ventavious Johnson. He was taken into custody and transported to the Spalding County Jail without further. In 2025, in Broward County, Florida, the Florida Highway Patrol's Criminal Interdiction Unit teamed up with the Broward Sheriff's Office to stop a dangerous fugitive wanted on multiple felony warrants. The target was a black Mercedes SUV rolling through Sunrise Boulevard. When troopers closed in, the driver refused to surrender. With traffic ahead and sirens closing behind, the Mercedes surged forward, weaving recklessly through lanes.
You're behind it? Number 1 lane eastbound?
I don't see him yet. I don't see him yet.
Run away from us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guys, stop it.
Go for it.
All right.
Espérate. Where you at, Bodeon?
No.
A first pit attempt spun the SUV, but chaos followed. The driver bailed mid-spin, and the front seat passenger slid behind the wheel, keeping the chase alive. The Mercedes pushed westbound, swerving through cars at high speed. Troopers knew this was no ordinary pursuit. Every second the suspect stayed on the road, the risk to innocent lives multiplied. Holding their line, they closed the gap once again.
I got you. Hey, they're still going! Go out the window! Go out the window!
Be careful, hey, be careful!
Careful!
Any additional units in the area of I-95 and Sunrise?
The impact sent the SUV spinning, overturning before slamming to a stop in the grassy median. The chase was finished. One by one, the suspects stumbled out of the wreck and were taken into custody. Inside the vehicle, officers found not just fugitives but firepower. 3 firearms recovered on scene. From felony warrants to a violent chase across Sunrise Boulevard, it all ended the same way, under arrest, facing justice in Broward County Jail. Commonly used vehicles in police pursuits across the U.S. It was June 1st, 2025, when Corporal Ben Ibarra was parked along I-530 North when a gray Honda Accord blew past him doing 90 in a 75. He attempted a routine stop, but what followed was anything but routine.
Well, Corporal Ben Ibarra, say please, don't pull you over speeding, okay?
I was doing 65.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
No, I got a rear radar on me, all right? You were doing 90 when you came up behind me over the top of the hill. Do you have any ID card on you?
I got
You what? Okay.
You want to see mine?
After refusing to admit he was speeding, the driver hit the gas and fled the traffic stop, kicking off a high-speed pursuit. His girlfriend, who was in a passenger seat, is about to experience a kind of date night she'd never forget.
Rocket 18, 10, 11, action, 10, 19.
The suspect made it clear he wasn't going quietly, swerving across lanes like a pinball and slamming his brakes repeatedly to throw off a pit attempt. But no amount of brake checking would stop what was coming.
TBI, Scott Hamilton. We see your hands!
The chase came to an end with a successful pit, sending the vehicle into a ditch and disabling it. Inside, troopers found a loaded 9mm with an extended magazine. Thompson and his passenger were taken into custody without further incident. He racked up a long list of charges, and what started as a simple traffic stop turned into a costly mistake that landed him behind bars. 23, Trooper Ronald Elkins was on routine patrol when he spotted a Mercury Grand Marquis swerving recklessly on the roadway. Elkins activated his lights, expecting a simple stop. The driver pulled into a parking lot, like he was ready to comply. But then, without warning, he stomped the gas. Tires screeched, and what should have been a traffic stop instantly became a high-speed chase. As the Mercury Grand Marquis barreled down the street, the driver suddenly tried to make a sharp left turn, but he didn't slow down. The heavy sedan swung wide, tires screeching, and in that split second, Trooper Elkins closed the gap. That mistake sealed the suspect's fate. Now the trooper was locked in right behind him, ready to strike. With the suspect wide in the turn, Trooper Elkins lined up and executed a perfect pit. The Mercury spun violently off the pavement and launched straight into a roadside ditch, landing with a splash as water sprayed into the night air. The driver bailed out immediately, scrambling on foot through the mud and brush, but Trooper Elkins held his ground, keeping control of the scene while backup units rushed in. The perimeter closed tight. By the end of the day, the reckless driver was tracked down, arrested, and taken into custody. His desperate run had ended in handcuffs. 2023, Conway police were chasing a black Dodge Charger eastbound on Interstate 40. As the chase neared Crystal Hill, Arkansas State Trooper Carrie Perminer took over as primary. But when her lights and sirens failed, another trooper moved in. Speeds hit 120 miles per hour as the suspect weaved through traffic and even used the shoulder to pass vehicles.
Probably going 40 west.
40 west.
40 east.
Taking 40 east.
Passing on my shoulder. About to get on 40 east. Trying to take the on-ramp.
The chase quickly spiraled out of control. Even with multiple units involved, the suspect kept creating chaos on the interstate. Moments later, another trooper moved in and took over as the primary unit.
Secondary. Gonna be secondary, 40 east. JFK, speeds 412.
When the Charger exited toward JFK, the trooper seized the moment, performing a flawless pit maneuver right in front of the old North Little Rock Police Department.
We're going to be taking JFK. Take JFK.
The driver, identified as Corey Simmons, bailed out and ran, but a short-foot chase ended with him in handcuffs. After resisting arrest, one quick strike was all it took for him to comply. Simmons was medically cleared and taken into custody. Seatbelts save lives, but for one man, not wearing one sparked a full-blown highway pursuit. What began as a simple traffic stop turned into a chaotic 100-mile-per-hour chase across county lines. It all began on May 8th, 2022, just before 4 p.m. in Baxley, Georgia.
SUV Nissan with a Florida tag. We're gonna be on Anthony Street, coming up on Pine Street, Anthony Street. All right, we're gonna be making a left here on the Homestead. Left on the Homestead. Clear. Hey, so we almost 1050. We on City Circle, Nissan SUV. All right, we're gonna be making a left back on Blackshear Highway.
Okay, 47, yeah.
The trooper lined up for the pit, but in a split-second decision, he backed off, thinking it wasn't the right moment. Unfortunately, that hesitation gave the suspect more room to spiral. What followed was pure recklessness, blowing through traffic, near head-ons, and pushing the limits at over 100 miles per hour.
He's running several vehicles off the roadway.
They're running several vehicles off the roadway.
No car coming.
As the suspect's driving grew more erratic by the second, the trooper knew time was running out. He lined up again for the pit, but the suspect wasn't making it easy. Swerving side to side, he did everything he could to block the takedown.
All right, I just tried to pit, and he's swerving back and forth.
The trooper executed a flawless pit, sending the SUV rolling several times before coming to rest. McQueen immediately bailed out and fled into a wooded area but didn't get far. Officers caught up quickly, and what they found was no surprise. Alcohol on his breath, bags of suspected drugs, a Glock pistol, and a long list of charges, including a warrant out of Florida. 2024, in Sebring, Florida. What began as a reckless driver on Sparta Road quickly spiraled into one of the most dangerous pursuits in Highlands and Hardy County. The suspect behind the wheel was Jaquan Salvalis Hall, a man who turned a traffic stop into a full-on fight for control of the highway.
We're still continuing westbound, speeds 40 miles an hour. He's barely able to control it. Vehicle's almost DAV.
The Dodge sped along State Road 66, swerving into oncoming lanes and forcing innocent drivers to take evasive maneuvers. Deputies struggled to keep up as Hall moved across lanes, nearly causing several head-on crashes. Despite units closing in, Hall refused to halt. He attempted to escape along the shoulder, but troopers prevented him from going any further.
10-4. He's not able to control it. It keeps going into oncoming traffic. I get a chance to take him out.
The vehicle became disabled and Hall finally crawled out, dropping to the ground. But even then, he refused to comply, concealing himself and ignoring multiple commands before finally being taken into custody. Jaquan Hall's reckless run left behind a trail of damaged cruisers, an injured deputy, and countless near misses on Florida highways. He's now facing a list of charges that include felony fleeing, aggravated battery on law enforcement, and operating without a valid license. He thought they were making a routine stop, until a white Cadillac CTS with dark tinted windows suddenly took off. It was November 29, 2024, and 25-year-old Timothy Tukes had just made the worst decision of his life. The pursuit ended when officers performed a textbook pit maneuver, spinning the suspect into the opposite lane and boxing him in. But driver still refused to surrender.
Get out! Go! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Car! Get out! Get out! Get out! Car! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Radio, who's gonna be in front of the Sundown Hotel? Keep an eye on her.
I'm clear. In front of Sundown Hotel.
Inside the car were found a loaded Glock 48 and an open bottle of Paul Masson and no valid license. But that wasn't all. Tukes confessed he ran to avoid getting caught with his brother's gun, not realizing the bigger problem: 2 active felony warrants for sexual assault out of DeKalb County. Tukes was taken into custody and now faces a stack of charges, including felony fleeing, reckless driving, and possession of a firearm during a felony. A routine stop turned high-stakes chase, and one more dangerous fugitive is off the streets. 2025? In Russellville, Arkansas, a silver Honda Accord rockets down Sparksford Drive, pushing 50 in a 30. What should have been a simple traffic stop quickly turned into something else entirely. The driver was identified as Nathan Jose Alaman.
It's a silver Honda passenger car against its wheel. We're going south towards the interstate on
27, stand by, 19. Your J, 1016, 38,
turning east on I-40. Boy Frank Mary, Fort 1 Young.
On the interstate, Alaman cranked the Accord to 130 miles per hour, weaving across lanes, blasting down the shoulder and turning rush hour traffic into his personal slalom course. But it seemed he was a little bit unfamiliar with the route, which he will show as the chase progressed. Exiting at Pottsville at over 100 miles per hour, he skipped a stop sign and went airborne off a curb before bouncing into a commuter lot, somehow regaining control and swinging back onto U.S. Highway 64.
He's crashed out. He's crashed out.
Crash out 236.
1022. He's going east on 64 now. Got a lot of smoke coming from his vehicle. I'm not sure if the truck can go. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Turn around. Get on the ground. Now, face down.
A precise strike to the driver's side sent the Honda spinning into a ditch, finally bringing the chase to an end. Taken into custody with no further fight, Aleman was transported to the hospital before being booked on a stack of charges, from felony fleeing to reckless driving and speeding over 130 miles an hour. 2025 in Franklin County, Ohio, when a deputy spotted a stolen Honda Civic just after noon at a busy intersection. They waited for the light to turn green, and when it did, the Civic made a slow left turn, but didn't stop when the lights came on, and that's when the pursuit began. The driver weaved through traffic, ran red lights, and even drove into oncoming lanes, refusing to pull over. The chase quickly got out of control, and it wasn't looking good. With every reckless move, the number of people put in danger kept rising. In a chase like this, there's only one thing you hope doesn't happen. But what troopers were hoping to avoid happened exactly the opposite. Deputies and officers rushed in, ordering the occupants to crawl out of the back window. One was released on scene, the other taken into custody on a felony warrant. The stolen car's driver was hospitalized for evaluation. One innocent driver hit in the crash suffered a broken toe. As for the Civic, it was stolen, crashed, and now part of a case that ended in shattered glass and On October 8, 2022, in Little Rock, Arkansas, state troopers found themselves in one of the craziest pursuits of their careers. It all began when a driver refused to stop after a trooper attempted a traffic stop for speeding. What started as a routine stop quickly escalated into a high-speed chase.
On Dixon Road, approaching the Rustenburger area. Still like traffic, passing rear. Speed 30 miles an hour. No traffic.
As the chase intensified, the suspect sped onto the highway, weaving recklessly through traffic at high speeds. Anticipating his path, a trooper positioned himself ahead and deployed spike strips, waiting for the suspect to drive past.
Looks like you got a trooper ahead of you up here under the side.
Hey, fall back off of him a little bit. Fall back. I got spikes. Fall back. Fall back.
The trooper deployed stop sticks, successfully deflating the suspect's tire. With the first phase complete, it was now up to the pursuing troopers to bring the chase to an end. One trooper stepped in to execute a pit maneuver, but things took a wild turn. The trooper's vehicle went airborne. It was an unbelievable moment, and luckily the dash cams from the pursuing troopers captured it all. Let's take another look from a different angle.
Unlock the door! I got it. Move your hand. Move your hand. Move your hand. Get out! Sir. Get out! Please don't hurt me. Get out! Get out! Get on the bridge, sir. Get on the bridge. Yes, sir. Glasses.
Wow, what an intense and unbelievable chase. In the end, justice was served. The suspect was stopped, arrested, and taken into custody. Once again, this video proves why Arkansas state troopers are among the best when it comes to handling dangerous pursuits. What are your thoughts on this wild chase? Let me know in the comments. On January 14, 2025, a trooper was conducting speed enforcement on US 90 in Gadsden County when a silver SUV approached at high speed. Clocked at 78 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone, the trooper attempted a traffic stop. However, the driver had other plans, accelerating instead of pulling over, turning a simple stop into a full-blown pursuit.
36. Go ahead. I got you 1020 at 90 and Old Skull. If you'll head this way, he's outbound on 90 at the First Farm Road.
The suspect sped up, creating some distance, but the trooper kept him in sight. After 7 minutes, the trooper closed in again, now with another patrol car joining the pursuit.
You're still eastbound on 90, coming up on Bigwood, Wicked, keep it about 110 to 115, traffic at the light. He is now southbound on Rock Boulevard. Rock Boulevard, he's back out.
The suspect lost control on a curve, fishtailed, and spun 180 degrees before crashing into a fence. The impact brought him to a stop, and a patrol car made minor contact with his vehicle. He then fled on foot through a trailer park, jumping several barbed wire fences before being captured by Trooper Cabe. The suspect, identified as Yul Kungkwan Perkins, was taken to the hospital after complaining of chest pain and shortness of breath. August 26, 2023, Trooper Joshua was on routine patrol when he spotted a Toyota SUV speeding above the posted limit. When the trooper attempted to initiate a traffic stop, the driver made a split-second decision to flee, turning a simple stop into a high-speed pursuit. The suspect nearly lost control after jumping the median, but somehow managed to recover and pushed on with his reckless driving. At this point, it was clear this chase had to be brought to an end before anyone else got hurt.
Coming up, Jimmy Lamb. I'm going to hit Jimmy Lamb from 0.
The suspect was all over the road, crossing medians and weaving through traffic, willing to do whatever it took to escape, no matter the cost.
Yeah, got the road closed on zero. Had about any wind. Can't get through.
Let me see your hands. Don't move. Don't move. Get on the ground. Get on the fucking ground. Get on the ground.
After a tense pursuit, the suspect was finally brought to a stop and arrested. He was taken into custody without further incident, bringing this dangerous chase to an end. In Beaver County, Pennsylvania, on April 4th, 2025, things started off simple. An Ohio trooper spotted a crashed vehicle on the side of the turnpike and pulled over to help the driver, 30-year-old Deshaun Leith. But what seemed like routine roadside assistance was about to spiral into something much more serious.
Come on, buddy. Step away. Come on, big step away. Step out, big step away. You a devil. What's going on, man? What's going on? In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, watch out. In the name of Jesus, watch out. Watch out, get hurt. You're going to get hurt. In the name of Jesus, stop. Bow down. Get hurt. Jesus, Lord, bow down. Don't touch me, you're going to die. Next time you touch me, you're going to die. Next time you touch me, you're going to die.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. 5-10, Cleveland.
Roughly 20 seconds later, Leith suddenly takes off running. When he circles back toward the cruiser, the trooper deploys a taser, but it fails. A violent struggle erupts. Punches are thrown, and Leith manages to overpower the trooper, pinning him to the ground and knocking off his body cam. Bystanders rush in, trying to defuse the chaos. But Leith breaks free again, this time stealing the trooper's cruiser and speeding off, triggering a massive multi-agency pursuit.
Circuit Patrol Car. My name is Pennsylvania.
I rebuke anything that's in front of me that's not a follower of Jesus. I tell them to get off the highway. You know why I believe? I got Jesus, baby. I got Jesus. Out the way if you ain't got Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Stop my car. Stop it, Jesus. Stop my car. In the record level. Hey, Jesus. Move anything that's touching my car. I rebuke it right now. I rebuke it right now. Anything touching my car, I command you, in the name of Jesus, the King of all kings, to bow down. Father, in the name of Jesus, I say ain't nothing wrong with me, Father. In the name of Jesus, I say stop me, Father. That's anything against me, Father. In the name of Jesus, Donald Trump.
After some time on the run, additional troopers managed to catch up. With lights flashing and sirens blaring, they closed in on the stolen cruiser, determined to bring this wild situation to an end.
I rebuke that car right there that's fatal. Because if it's not a Jesus follower, stop right now. If it's not a Jesus follower, stop right now. When we come and devil looking forward, it ain't no next place mentality. It ain't no next place. It ain't no next place. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke anything that is not of you in the name of Jesus. I bind it up right now. I calm the spirit down because I know Jesus is the best.
The pursuit ended in North Sewickley, Pennsylvania, when Leith crashed the stolen cruiser. Troopers struggled to restrain him as he resisted arrest. Moments later, the situation turned deadly. Leith was fatally shot by officers, and police have not confirmed whether he had a weapon. Leith's past included 9 home invasion convictions, but after his release in 2023, he became the executive director of a nonprofit dedicated to helping at-risk youth. A GoFundMe set up by his family has raised over $1,000 as of April 9th. On January 28, 2024, Trooper Peters was conducting speed enforcement on State Road 50 when he observed a gray 2022 Dodge Challenger traveling at a high rate of speed. He visually estimated the speed at approximately 75 miles per hour in a posted 50 miles per hour zone. His Stalker dual radar confirmed a speed of 77 miles per hour. Trooper Peters overtook the suspect vehicle, activated his emergency lights, and conducted a traffic stop. Trooper also observed the rear window was externally dark tinted, and the door windows had extremely dark tint. He verbally instructed the driver to lower his window, turn the vehicle off, and place the keys on the roof. At that moment, the suspect vehicle fled at a high rate of speed, westbound on State Road 50.
Florida 28, Juliet Yankee. Tango 50, Great Dodge Challenger up on, coming up towards, just west, or just east of Spring Lake Highway, headed west, 131. I need another unit. Somebody's got a pit ball, so you help me out.
The suspect hit speeds of 140 miles per hour and pulled away from the trooper, but the trooper knew he would eventually have to slow down. So after 2 minutes, the trooper caught up once again, but the speeds were extremely high, and the trooper would have a really hard time stopping the suspect. That was for sure.
Oh, let's go. Passing Red Bud Lane, coming up towards the truck route now. Passing Red Bud towards the truck route, 125. Signal first. Oh, you cross the medium, grass medium. Single 12 whiskey, single 12 whiskey. Single 12 whiskey. Hit. Signal, oh, we're going back. We're back westbound. Back. Passing WPA Road, 130. Single four.
Upon making contact, the driver was identified as Brandon Corey Johnson, who had never possessed a valid driver's license. 3 passengers were in the vehicle, including 2 minors, ages 10 and 15. A warrant check revealed a violation of probation for battery in Hernando County. A search of the vehicle found 7 grams of cocaine wrapped in a dollar bill on the driver's floor, 9.9 grams, and 2.2 grams of cocaine in a backpack in the trunk, 9.9 grams of marijuana on the driver's floor, and 3.2 grams of marijuana with a digital scale. Johnson was transported to Hernando County Detention Center and booked on drug trafficking, child abuse, fleeing and eluding, and driving without a license charges. On December 3, 2022, Arkansas state troopers were locked in a pursuit with a red SUV. The suspect was tough to stop until Trooper Bird joined the chase. He quickly caught up and got ready to put an end to this wild run.
We're 40 westbound, stay behind us, coming up on Camp Rock, the speed probably about 110, light traffic. We got state passenger. Yeah, they're coming over, state's coming over, you're going to take Cranberry. We're going to be third. We're going up on Pulaski County. Check up the college exit. Speeds, hey. You stay.
You'll give me space. I'm trying to put it right here.
You're 90, light traffic. There's that big up hit. Hit. Stay knocked out. Get us medical.
It took Trooper Bird less than a minute after taking lead to shut it all down, proving once again why he's one of the best and showing how good he actually is. The driver and passengers were both arrested, all thanks to Trooper Bird, who brought this wild chase to an end and these suspects to justice. 2023, Genesee County Dispatch aired a disturbing call. A blue Chevy Silverado had reportedly run another driver off the road in an apparent road rage attack. The caller identified the suspect as Eddie Simmons, and within minutes, troopers had eyes on him. But when they moved in for the stop, Eddie wasn't slowing down. He was just getting started.
Good. He's on you out Bellinger. Traffic. What about 55 or so?
He's good on the right, get on the right.
Left. Clearway traffic speed there. Northbound Bradley.
Get on the right, traffic stop. Good luck. Get on the right. Good left, four-way.
Speeds climbed, traffic violations stacked up, and it was clear Eddie was willing to risk anything to escape. But then, for reasons only he knows, Eddie started easing off the gas, giving troopers the opening they needed to close in.
Let's go westbound Court Street. Westbound Court Street, somebody. Northbound Mansfield, no easy here.
The trooper wasted no time executing a pit that brought the chase to a sudden stop, but Eddie bailed out, hit the ground running, and the foot pursuit was on.
Hey, police, stop! You're gonna get shot! Right there, right there! Get police! Show us your hands! You're gonna get shot! Stop! Stop running! Stop! Right here, right here! Get on the ground! On the ground!
A short foot chase ended with him in cuffs, and Eddie Simmons was booked into the Genesee County Jail on multiple felony charges. The passenger who fled the scene remains unaccounted for. From road rage to two separate pursuits in one day, Eddie learned that no matter how many vehicles you switch, when troopers are after you, there's no way out. 2022, outside of Forest City, Arkansas, Trooper Hess attempted to pull over a vehicle driven by 19-year-old John Bomar. Dispatch had warned that the young man was possibly suicidal, but instead of stopping, Bomar fled, pushing the trooper into a desperate pursuit down rural roads.
Street, I'm 1037, passing on double yellow. Traffic light, speed 65, accelerating. Before, I didn't see him use a turn signal whenever he took the 242 exit. He used the turn signal to swap lanes, but I was going to use that to talk to him, just check on him. Still southbound on Newcastle, going towards Arkansas Avenue. In the curve, speed's 55 miles an hour, no traffic. Towards the interstate, northbound on Washington. 13, are you close where you can come up here and pit him? Almost to the interstate, I'll let you know. Okay, staying northbound, 84 miles an hour, northbound, coming under the interstate.
Down on one, speeds of about 100, traffic light.
As the chase continued, the suspect pushed his car past 110 miles per hour, flying down the highway with no signs of slowing. Primary Trooper Hess held back, keeping the vehicle in sight while waiting for backup to arrive. Moments later, another trooper joined the pursuit and immediately took over as the primary unit, setting the stage for what would soon become a devastating end.
Pit. Start at 1016. Start at 1016.
The suspects rolled several times and landed on its side. Troopers rushed in, shouting commands for the driver to exit, but there was no response. Moments later, they realized why. He wasn't even inside the vehicle. Just a few meters away, they found him lying on the ground, unresponsive. Despite their efforts, the 19-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene. They are designed to absorb impact and redirect vehicles, but they're not built to stop someone who's determined to keep going. It was May 31st, 2023, when a Corporal Shane Alkire was notified about a stolen vehicle involving a suicidal juvenile fleeing north on Highway 71. Officer Brandon Williamson located the vehicle and began the pursuit. Even after crashing into a guardrail on US 71, the driver kept going. After 20 minutes, Corporal Alkire caught up and took over as the lead unit, ready to bring this dangerous situation to an end. It didn't take long for Trooper Alkire to make his move and attempt a pit himself.
On the ground.
Trooper Alkire stopped the chase with a TVI, forcing the stolen Prius off the road and into a speed limit sign. The driver, a juvenile named Alyssa, was cleared by EMS and released to her father for mental health evaluation. She was cited for reckless driving, speeding, leaving the scene, and more. Felony charges for fleeing and theft will be filed at her court date. 22nd, 2025, a Nissan Altima caught the attention of an Arkansas state trooper for its obscured license plate, but what started as a simple traffic stop turned into a wild, high-speed pursuit, with the driver pushing 120 miles per hour and weaving recklessly across all lanes of Interstate 40. Trooper went for the pit right away, but it was unsuccessful. But he smelled the blood and wasn't stopping there. He was locked in and was coming for more.
Wreck that. He's off in the trees.
Let me see your hands! Let me see your hands! Walk to me! Walk to me right now! Hey! Walk to me! Let me keep your hands in the air! Walk to me right now!
The driver, Dashcam Roddy, was taken into custody without further incident. After being read his Miranda rights, he admitted to tossing marijuana out the window during the chase, though it was never recovered. Roddy is now facing a list of charges, including felony fleeing, tampering with evidence, reckless driving, and possession of a controlled substance. In 2022, Arkansas State Trooper Austin was on patrol when a pursuit heading his way came across the radio. Without hesitation, he positioned himself and took over the chase, doing everything he could to bring the fleeing red Chevy to a stop.
That was one person. Following up. On Brown Street. Back on 22nd.
As the chase entered a residential area, the trooper briefly backed off, but with the suspect creating chaos and putting lives at risk, he made a quick decision. End it now, before the driver crashed into someone's home.
Mark. I crashed out. Location?
Got the driver! Got the driver! Got the driver! Got the driver! Roll over on your stomach! Roll over on your stomach! Roll over! Roll over on your stomach! Put your hands behind your back! Put your hands behind your back!
After the pit, the driver made one last mistake, trying to flee on foot. He would have been better off staying in the car and listening to troopers. Instead, he got tased, arrested, and taken into custody without further incident, bringing the chase to a hard-earned end. Morning of February 15, 2024, an off-duty Detroit police officer was ambushed. Someone opened fire on him while he was driving his personal vehicle. The officer survived and quickly relayed the suspect's license plate to dispatch. By 3:30 p.m., Michigan State troopers spotted the vehicle. When the driver refused to stop, a pursuit was launched.
Yes, sir, we're going to be
southbound Telegraph coming up to Franklin Road. That's where they had the shooting suspect. Speeds are about 68 miles an hour.
Roger, 17 miles an hour. Telegraph 14. We're still southbound on Telegraph. 9089. Dispensers, everybody take you for your
Knowing the suspect was armed and had already fired on a police officer, troopers couldn't afford a single mistake. Every move had to be calculated. Multiple patrol units joined the pursuit, determined to stop this driver before anyone else got hurt. But watching how the suspect weaved through traffic with reckless abandon, It was clear this wouldn't be easy. He was desperate, dangerous, and fully willing to pull the trigger again.
About to get off at 9 Mile. No, he stayed. Committed to 8 Mile.
Let's go call the person that's shooting at her mother. Exited 8 Mile, not to the left at 8 Mile.
So, anybody go to the hospital, man?
Yeah, should be fine. Approaching Pembroke. 323, we'll be back in the day. Eastbound Pembroke from Greenview.
As the chase dragged on, troopers were making little headway. Every time they closed in, the suspect would hit the gas, blasting through traffic like a missile on wheels. It became too dangerous to match his speed, forcing troopers to hold back. But then, just when it felt like the suspect might actually get away, he made a critical mistake, a wrong move at the wrong time.
Speeds are 65.
We have a unit for 6 over.
Alright, northbound Southfield Church Drive for Pipeline. Speeds are 25. Just gonna hit a pole, but kept it together. Coming to a stop. Successful cut.
Hands up! You move, I got don't move! Keep your hands up! No! Now wait! Good, cover. I got you. You both just fucking in. I'm scared! Don't shoot me! Please,
Alright, he's coming out. Here's cuffs.
You got him?
Just watch your hands. Watch your hands.
I got it. It's in the car.
The moment the suspect slipped, troopers didn't hesitate. MSP's K-9 team and emergency support units moved in fast, and with a perfectly executed pit, they brought the chase to an end. The suspect was taken into custody without further incident, and the very firearm used in the original shooting, it was found right on June 17, 2024 in Lee County, Florida. A trooper spotted a motorcycle with the license plate tucked in and barely visible. The trooper activated his lights and sirens to make a traffic stop, but the rider had other plans and took off, prompting a pursuit. The suspect lost control after the trooper even drove onto the sidewalk in an attempt to stop him. That move was enough to throw the rider off, causing him to crash. He was charged with fleeing and reckless driving and later booked into the Lee County Jail. 2023, Trooper Escamilla was patrolling Interstate 40 East near mile marker 157 when she spotted a black motorcycle speeding without a license plate. The rider, wearing overalls and a black helmet, made an improper lane change and sped up even more when the trooper tried to pull him over. That's when the pursuit began.
Looks like you might be losing it here shortly. Just got on 440 East, no traffic. 70. Unknown race male. Just past the 12. Speed 110. He's in the one line. No traffic. Coming up to 13. Speeds 110. Just took the 12.
The suspect drove recklessly at speeds over 110 miles per hour, putting countless lives at risk, including his own. It was clear he was willing to do whatever it took to get away.
Coming up to Trammell. Just past Fairfax, speeds. He's gonna be a white man. White shirt.
I'm not back here. Sheriff's still in there. We're trying to catch up with you.
Getting ready to get on 40 West. Just got on 40 West. Approaching Spring.
14, North Interchange.
Just passed up Spring Hill.
The suspect took an exit and started heading south on Highway 161. He then got onto Interstate 40 West, continuing to drive recklessly, even speeding through a construction zone where workers were present.
Yeah, we're coming up on some traffic here. Speeds right now are 80. It's about to be passing on the shoulder shortly. Speed 70, correction speed 80. We're approaching the interchange. Looks like we're getting ready to get 30 west. Yep, we're going to be 30 west.
30 west now, speed 90 like that.
Approaching from the sights, speed 70.
We're going to go 440 east. So past one car, speed 70. Take a 440 speed 70.
The suspect took the Lindsay Road exit where Trooper Escamilla made a move, overtaking him on the left to block him from getting back onto the interstate and slow him down. That move changed the outcome of the chase.
Just took the 4, took the 4.
The impact from hitting the patrol car threw suspect off the motorcycle and onto the pavement. He quickly got up and ran toward the wood line. Trooper Escamilla gave commands, but Guess refused to comply and reached into his overalls. Fearing he might be armed, the trooper deployed his taser, hitting suspect in the back and bringing him down. He was handcuffed without further trouble. Medical personnel were called to check him out before he was taken to the hospital for clearance. Suspect was later charged with felony fleeing, obstruction, and multiple traffic violations and was released into hospital custody.